Imagine standing before an armored door that will not budge no matter how loudly you beg. Tears, petitions, pleading, none of it moves the lock. Now imagine that door opens not to pleading, but to a code you can learn, a pattern you can call. That is what this practice offers. A focused, practical activation you can do in 7 minutes to bring your inner antenna online, to aim attention at the pineal center and re-establish a direct channel with the source of your knowing. This is not an argument about theology. It is a skilled, intentional method to reclaim your inner authority and to remember a resonance you have always carried. For too long, many have been taught to pray as supplicants only, asking through intermediaries, begging from outside. That old posture can be real and sacred for many. But if your experience has been frustration, a persistent sense that your calls disappear into a distant sky, there is another way that the mystics speak of. A direct call, a restoration of a pattern inside you that recognizes itself. If this message is touching something alive in you, type into the comments exactly as you feel it. One short line: I reclaim my signal. Let that simple statement be your public anchor. Now, a brief frame to make sense of this. According to certain ancient traditions and some early texts outside the mainstream canon, there is a story told to explain why humans forget. These sources speak of a monad, a singular source or principle of unity, and of a lesser architect sometimes called a demiurge, a structure that builds a constrained reality. Against those controlling patterns are the pneumatics, those who remember by spirit. This is a mythic map, offered as metaphor and as explanatory language for what you already sense. Some patterns encourage forgetfulness, others open remembering. Use this language as a tool, not as dogma. The canonical stories of Jesus and the raising of Lazarus can be read as evidence in many traditions of restoration, the turning on of what was dormant. When I mention those figures, I do so with respect to the images they offer. Resurrection as restoration of original pattern, authority exercised over apparent limits. This practice borrows the language of restoration without claiming any single source as the sole authority. Before we move into the activation, there are 3 keys you must understand and hold. I will name them plainly and give you one practical anchor for each. Recognition. This is a visceral remembering. It is not an intellectual assent. It is the felt sense that you are not merely your body or your story, but a living center that recognizes its own origin. Anchor. Bring to mind one simple memory of absolute clarity, a moment when you felt certain, even briefly. Let that feeling be the seed. Authority. This is the sovereign stance you take toward your own interior. It is not aggression. It is a calm ownership of your center. Anchor. Place your hand over your sternum and feel the weight of your own presence. Hold that posture mentally as you move. Command. This is the concise, decisive phrase you will speak that issues the intention and closes the circuit. It functions like a code, not like a request. Anchor. Your command will be short, declarative, and formed as if already completed. Hold these keys in mind as we move. They are the technical prerequisites. Recognition opens contact. Authority establishes your right to issue a directive. Command seals and releases the pattern into latency. We will now do the 7-minute activation. The sequence is compact and deliberate. A brief disconnect from noise, an inward descent into the chest and then to the center of the head, a period of resonance at the pineal center, a concise, vocalized protocol that you will speak aloud, a complete release of the command, and then a patient, neutral watch for signs. I will describe each stage clearly with sensory cues and physical suggestions. Follow what fits. Do not strain. If at any point you feel uncomfortable, return to normal breathing and open your eyes. This practice is safe and accessible. No extreme breath holding, no forced physical tension. Begin by making yourself comfortable. Sit with your spine upright, feet grounded, shoulders relaxed. If you prefer to stand, keep your knees soft. Allow your hands to rest where you choose. Close your eyes if that feels right. Otherwise, soften your gaze. Begin with a simple, steady breath. Inhale naturally through the nose. Exhale through the nose or mouth in whatever way feels calming. You are not performing a pattern of breath control. You are creating gentle space. First, disconnect. Imagine the city noises of thought as traffic on a highway. You turn off the highway and walk into a quiet grove. Do not push the traffic away with effort. Simply choose a different attention. As you let attention step off the busy road, notice one thing: the rhythm of your chest. Keep your awareness steady on that rhythm. If thoughts arrive, label them silently as thought and let them pass. This is not a battle. It is a shifting of allegiance. Spend this short minute letting the world's urgency slide down in priority. Sit inside your presence. Next, descend into the center. Soften your jaw, drop your chin slightly, relax the muscles around your throat. Bring your attention inward behind the sternum, where your hand may rest briefly. Imagine a small elevator, an image of movement inward, that first descends to the chest, then rises through the midline to the hollow behind the eyes. As the elevator moves, feel a gentle coolness and then a widening. You are moving from outer urgency into interior stillness. Keep slow, natural breathing. If you feel a subtle pressure or a sense of spaciousness behind the eyes, acknowledge it as the first sign of resonance. Do not analyze, sense. Now establish resonance at the pineal center. Bring your attention to the point between the eyebrows, just above the bridge of the nose, and slightly behind that, the subtle focal area, often described as the pineal center. Imagine a soft inner lighthouse of light there, not blinding, simply luminous and steady. Sense the space around that light. It feels open, like a small dome of quiet. Allow any subtle vibration, warmth, or coolness to be noticed without judgment. If nothing obvious appears, continue to hold open space. Resonance often begins as an almost inaudible tone. Feel the heartbeat beneath your hand or in your chest as an anchor. Let the internal beat entrain the inner light. The goal is a felt presence, not a bright image. When you sense stillness in the chest aligning with a subtle presence behind the eyes, you know the circuit is ready. At this point, prepare to speak. Choose one of these 3 short protocols to speak aloud when instructed. Each follows the structure: state presence, reclaim authority, command alignment, close. Pick the phrase that lands most naturally in your mouth. First option: Monad, I am here. I reclaim my authority. Alignment is complete. It is done. Second option: Source, recognize me. My sovereignty returns. Let the alignment stand. It is complete. Third option: O1, I remember. I take my seat of authority. The alignment is commanded. It is done. Whichever phrase you choose, speak with calm brevity. You are not pleading. You are issuing a clear return. When you feel the inner lighthouse steady and your chest sense steady, take a breath and speak your chosen protocol aloud in your normal voice. Speak each phrase as if it is already fulfilled. Past tense or completed present tense phrasing carries weight. Say, it is done, or alignment is complete. Do not shout. Speak with calm force. Let the voice carry through the throat and vibrate lightly in the skull. The sound is part of the seal. If you whisper because you are in a public place, speak firmly even in the whisper. Immediately upon finishing your spoken protocol, release completely. This release is decisive. Imagine throwing a key into the ocean and walking away. You do not grasp for it again. Mentally let go of the command. Do not replay it. Do not try to prove it worked. Watch thoughts as weather. They will try to hook you with doubt, with small fears, with, did I do it right? Or, nothing happened. Recognize those as the system's reflex. Interference testing the new pattern. Observe without argument. If a thought becomes loud, label it and let it pass. Stay in neutral observation for a while. Allow the body to settle. If you feel a wave of emotion, breathe calmly and allow it to pass. If you notice a physical sensation of lightness, heaviness, warmth, or even a slight dizziness, treat it as an energetic readout, not as alarm. Return to steady breathing and to the posture of relaxed presence. Do not chase experiences. You are practicing latency, the period after a code is issued when the system reorganizes. Before we fully close, take a moment to gently reorient. Wiggle your fingers and toes if you like. Keep the eyes closed for a heartbeat longer if that feels helpful, then open them slowly. Carry a neutral expectancy. You have issued a sovereign call and then released it. Outcomes are not guaranteed, but many report that even a single practice recalibrates their felt sense of receiving. Some notice subtle synchronicities in the hours and days after. Others feel slow, steady internal shifts. Again, no promises, only an invitation to test responsibly and to keep watch with calm attention. Now, a few signs to recognize and how to interpret them. The first sign is collapse, a demolition of old inner structures. You may notice that certain automatic habits or narratives suddenly feel hollow, as if the scaffolding around a belief gives way. This can be unsettling. Do not panic. Treat collapse like clearing rubble after a renovation. The space is messy but newly available. Care for yourself practically during such times. Rest, hydrate, and do simple grounding activities. The second sign is echo. Synchronicities, repeated symbols, or events that seem to answer back. You might see the same number repeatedly, run into someone who delivers a crucial word, or notice a dream that reiterates the theme. Echoes are feedback. Acknowledge them and make no urgent leaps in interpretation. Record them if you wish. They are data points, not proof of grand outcomes. The third sign is neutrality, a new capacity to observe without clinging. You will feel less reactive, less grabbed by petty storms. This is a healthy outcome. It signals that your center is holding even when the outer scene disturbs you. Cultivate it by practicing small acts of non-engagement. Let a thought pass and return to your breath or to your work. Neutrality is an expression of authority, not indifference. It is the quiet posture of someone who knows they have issued the code. Expect interference. When you issue a new pattern, doubt and noise often climb like immune responses. They will test with fear, with memories, with sudden fatigue or trivial irritations. Those are not reasons to argue. Observe them as the system's reflex. If you find yourself spiraling, return to one deep breath, the hand on the sternum, and the memory anchor of recognition. If persistent distress arises, seek support from a trusted friend or a professional. This work is not a replacement for medical or psychological care. A few practical troubleshooting tips. If your attention drifts during resonance, shorten the step and re-establish the chest anchor for a moment. If your throat tightens when you speak the protocol, soften your jaw and speak in a lower register. If you feel nothing at first, continue with calm repetition over days, rather than forcing intensity in one session. Small, consistent activations build durable change. We must be clear about language and sources. When I use terms like monad or mention early Gnostic ideas, I do so as helpful metaphors and historical lenses for people drawn to that map. Some ancient texts, including certain non-canonical sources, suggest patterns of remembering that echo what we are doing. Use them as tools of language, not as mandatory beliefs. And when I reference the image of Jesus or the story of Lazarus, I mean these images as archetypal, examples of restoration familiar across many traditions. This practice does not rely on acceptance of any one dogma. It relies on your capacity to recognize, hold authority, and issue a command. A final caution. Do not expect miracles as contractual guarantees. Respect the mystery. Do not abandon medical treatments or professional guidance that you need. This is an internal method of recalibration and remembrance. It can be powerful. It can also be subtle. Approach with integrity and responsibility. Now receive one short prayer-like call as a closing anchor. Speak it to the source in second person if that feels right. Use declarative form. Monad, I am present. My recall is commanded. Let alignment proceed. It is done. Say it once, quietly, as an affirmative closure. Then release. Do not argue with what follows. Watch. Live neutrally. Be compassionate toward yourself if the world takes its time to answer. You have now completed a single 7-minute activation designed to bring focused attention to the pineal center and to reset a pattern of inner authority. If this practice resonated, consider making it a gentle habit, short, intentional, respectful of your limits. Remember the 3 keys: recognition, authority, command. Keep them simple. Practice them with humility and determination. You are not a beggar at the door. You are someone remembering a code. You are reclaiming a sovereign posture toward your own center. Walk from this session with steady expectation and calm patience. Practice without forcing. Watch for collapse, echo, and neutrality. Observe doubt without argument. If you felt something, record it. If you did not, try again another day with the same clear intent and without pressure. If you found this session helpful and want deeper practices like this, subscribe and join the next guided session where we will explore sustained resonance and how to track echoes responsibly. Thank you for bringing your attention here. You have done the work. Now allow what you called to arrange itself.